Nathaniel Hackett fired by the Denver Broncos. Who would have saw this coming? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And it's not even this man's fault. It's not even this man's fault. This guy has 11 excuses on offense and 11 excuses on defense. Okay? What did you expect? Right? You thought that trading away all of your draft capital that you acquired through trading one of the franchise's best players to ever play for the franchise, with a lot of cap space and a season that they could have began the rebuild that this team needed, but decided to spend all that money and all those draft picks on Russell Wilson, an aging veteran Hall of Fame quarterback at that. Then they pair him up with Nathaniel Hackett. Nathaniel Hackett doesn't even get a full season. He doesn't even get enough time to establish a system and an identity in Denver. And like every other season, we're firing the head coach. So we'll be going into next season with another first-year head coach. The question is, who the fuck is going to come to Denver? Who do you guys expect is going to take this job? Because if I'm a head coach, I'm a defensive coordinator, an offensive coordinator, someone who's hot in the market right now for a head coaching seat. I'm looking at teams like the Denver Broncos, and I'm like, wow, this team has no talent. This team has no draft capital. This team has no cap space to get better. And they have a boss who's going to tap me on the shoulder every time I try to make a move. No fucking thanks. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. We're going to do the same thing because fire the head coach, right? Anyone in the front office get fired yet? No. Elway's still there? Yes. Ellis and the trust still there? Of course. But we're going to fire the head coach. What's going to be next? We're going to trade Russ? We're going to release Russ? What's going to happen? So Nathaniel Hackett gets to take the heat for John Elway, Joe Ellis, and George Payton deciding to go after Russell Wilson. I'm not going to blame Payton as much, but he still gets blamed for me because he is not standing up for himself. He's going to take the heat for this trade. He's going to go down as the worst GM in football history and one of the worst GMs in all of sports history for this trade because he's going to fall on the sword for John Elway and the Broncos organization. And it's really sad to see, but he deserves it. If he doesn't stand up for himself, he deserves it. And you fans think we're going to be different? Is this another going to the playoffs next year bowl? Come on. Any head coach who comes into this team is going to be the exact same thing that Nathaniel Hackett, Vic Fangio, and Vance Joseph were. 2, 3 puppets, another puppet, another coach dying in Denver. Nathaniel Hackett got his reputation ruined as a coach by Denver. Russell Wilson is having his legacy tarnished by Denver, even though he's fucking sucked recently. But what can you do when you have receivers who don't get open and an offensive line who's constantly getting you absolutely murdered every single play? So it's really sad to see. It's really sad to hear. But Nathaniel Hackett is the latest victim of the Broncos organization. He'll never see another head coaching job thanks to the Broncos organization. Thanks to the team who has had an offensive line problem since 2014 and has not addressed it since. The reason why Peyton Manning got retired early. The reason why Paxton Lynch didn't pan out. The reason why Trevor Siemian got murdered twice in 2 seasons. The reason why Case Keenum got hurt, didn't miss any time, but he still got injured nonetheless. Same reason why Joe Flacco didn't play a full season. Same reason why Drew Lock didn't play a full season. Same reason why now Russell Wilson didn't play his full season. Why Teddy Bridgewater didn't play his full season. But we're going to blame the coach. We're going to blame the quarterback. Never any accountability for the rest of the team or the front office. The only 2 positions that exist on the Broncos are apparently the quarterback and the coach. Because it was the coach who decided to sign Randy Gregory to a large-ass contract. It was the coach who signed Cortland Sutton to a massive contract last year, right? It was Nathaniel Hackett who signed Tim Patrick to a massive contract last year. It was Nathaniel Hackett who signed Justin Simmons to a massive contract. All of that cap space could have went to 4 solid, really good offensive linemen, and we would have been looking at an entirely different offense. But no. This team apparently does work at every position other than what's needed. Now our receivers, we need receivers, because who would have thought, after watching Cortland Sutton not do shit for 3 years, after watching Jerry Jeudy not do shit for 3 years, although I do think that Jerry Jeudy's potential has been held back because of Cortland Sutton, and now that he's been kind of the number one guy, he's been getting better, but the man still can't catch a cold. Cortland Sutton's not the reason why he drops passes. The Broncos could have had Justin Jefferson, could have had CeeDee Lamb, but didn't. Or even better, the Broncos probably could have drafted an offensive tackle in that draft too, but didn't, because we can't have that in Denver. So until I see front office fired, John Elway fired, Joe Ellis and the trust fired, until I see that, I'm not taking anything seriously. Because nothing's going to change. You'll hire another head coach. First-year head coach won't even get to establish his system, won't even get to get the players that he wants, won't even get to hire the coaches that he wants, and they'll get blamed for everything next year. Wash, rinse, repeat. The season's ending no differently. Off-season's already started in the same way every Broncos off-season started. Head coach fired. Head coach searching committee spearheaded by John Elway. You heard it here first. So, I feel bad for anyone who actually thinks that this means anything. Until anyone in the front office is gone, nothing is going to change. So, don't expect nothing different.